My name is Dror Shalev. I'm working for Smart Defense Research Center in Israel. Sorry for my bad English. I need to translate everything twice. So I'll be hoping that you will understand me and the slides will be good and the demo went well. Okay, let's start. So we are talking about, today we'll do some kind of small introduction. We'll talk about trust, technology, and new privacy issues raised by technology. We'll chat a little bit about overview about home networking and privacy. I will give you the steps to make a crazy toaster, like I did here. We'll do a small demonstration. I hope it will not crash, because it's like on live network, so this is like very dangerous network to go. So if it won't work, you have to forgive me. It worked this morning. I will chat a little bit about side effect of this research, like Windows SSDP distributed denial of service. Will not show 0 days of stuff here, but I will try to make a small demonstration of the denial of service. And we'll talk about some to-do, some extend ideas about the home networking and about cool devices. After that, we'll give some respect to the people that helped me, and I went on their own way. And then we'll leave some time for a Q&A. Okay, from the beginning, it's dangerous. So I stole those pictures from guys called hackthetoaster.com. They have very cool ideas over there, and it can be dangerous. So the mission of this research was to make like world domination via single UDP packet. This mission was failed. Okay, so I heard some guy from Google, some smart guy from Google talked about trust and about privacy and about do we care, about all kinds of stuff with technology. And he said that do we care if our home devices will see us naked? You know, you wake up in the morning, go grab a coffee or something, and you're naked on the way to the kitchen, and do you care or not? So I think that we need to be care. I think that home devices can turn against us and spy on our network. I think that privacy and trust issues raised by new technologies and new hardware and cool devices. If we look about some devices that support the SSDP and UPnP, we can check like cell phones, like Nokia phones. We have some cool devices like clocks, radio, internet radio, Windows Media Player 11, Xbox, and some DVDs and cool stuff. So this cool stuff raised like new tricks and new issues, and I want to chat about them today. So common privacy issues. Technology is about to replace the trust model we use today. People get confused between people that know things and machines that know things. Do we care if Google machines know that we would like to pay for porn? Does this information can be given to a human? Usually we don't trust human to deal with this information. Should we trust corporate? Should we trust hardware vendors and software vendors? Home devices in XP and Windows Vista have some kind of new component. You can see in the lower button, the lower side of the screen, you can see some kind of way of icon that when we use devices that is internet enabled, the Windows box and the Vista box have support for those devices. We'll chat or will not chat about peer-to-peer networking, but this is part of the home networking in Vista. And there is like network appliances and wireless devices. The UPnP architecture, it's very cool architecture. We'll mention a little bit about it. We'll do some kind of overview of distributed UPnP architecture based on TCP, UDP, and HTTP. We'll not mention the IPv6 vector that reintroduced like old exploits that were already fixed in IPv4. like land attack last year. And we will talk about security exploit and early threats in those protocols, and we'll give respect to the people that found them. In New Vista, there is a better support for device discovery. So you can see that devices and software can be easily discovered. Those protocols behind its NetBIOS, UPnP, SSDP, and some other protocols that don't really know about it. Okay, in Vista, there is the peer-to-peer networking, people near me feature, network discovery, and media sharing. So if you can see in my slides over there, I just mentioned, I will just show the network discovery and the media sharing feature in Vista. And if we are talking about device scenario, we are talking about smart home, about computers all over in kitchen, living room, master bedroom, garage, or I don't know where. When we look on the new Vista interface, we have some kind under the network neighborhood or the network discovery. We have like a place for the computer that we use. You can see it on the lower left corner. We have some media sharing feature. It's the second one from the left. And we have some fake devices that we can add, like the remote UI client, the crazy toaster, and the fake Intel access point. So this is the presentation page, and this is the when someone wrote his device description, he can choose whatever he like to put inside over there. When we are talking about home networking, each one of those devices, it can be a own PC in the LAN, it can be a web page with a virus, it can be a media center, VoIP devices, wireless access points, cell phones, any appliance or crazy toaster like I did here today. So each one of them can be owned and can be a target to hackers inside our local network. We'll use wireless connectivity to advise ourselves and show our stuff over there. When we are talking about the UPnP architecture, we are talking about very cool architecture. It was like made like by a couple of vendors. Microsoft was one of them, not the leader one. But it's internet-based technology. It's built on TCP/IP, UDP, HTTP, XML, and other technologies as well. The UPnP support in XP is divided to two parts. The SSDP, the Simple Search Discovery Protocol, is a service that is default enabled. And the UPnP that show the presentation and talk with the devices is not enabled by default. So we have a listening port in port 180, 1000, 2001. I will show you by written later. So we have a support for Internet Gateway Device Discovery, and we have support for a couple of components inside, but not all of the picture is still ready. That was changed on Vista. On XP installation, we can find our device under, we can install it under the network services. We have a default support for Internet Gateway devices. If you can look on the graph over there, we have a four steps when we do our when we add our device to the network. We have 4 steps. The device joins the network, advertise its presence by doing a multicast. The control point. So the control point in our point is the XP system. He asks for device description. It's an XML-based technology. The device gets the service description that the device is supporting, and then the computer, the control point, invoke methods and start to control the device itself. Some early threats that was found in the SSDP and UPnP stuff. Part of them was found in the XP boxes, like the previous one, the first one. Part of them was found in the device itself. Lots of research made by EI. They are very cool guys. They did lots of crazy stuff in lots of protocols, so they get the respects over there. We see vulnerabilities in devices, like appliances, routers and stuff. Part of the exploits were buffer overflows. Part of them was some logical bugs that allow opening ports and get username and password of ADSL stuff. And part of them was a DCRPC. The major one was DCRPC, found by iDefense and a couple of more people. It was a DCRPC interface for the UPnP, and it wasn't like broadcasting stuff, but it's the same stuff. The last one was found by Michael Lane. It wasn't on the Microsoft, it was on the OS Bonjour. So it's very similar to SSDP and UPnP, but it's work over DNS. But it's same stuff over there, and it's do the same. So let's talk about steps to create a crazy toaster Trojan. When we started this research, we looked for open services in XP, and we found the SSDP and the UPnP that is related to the SSDP. And we realized that not only routers, media players, and servers and other cool stuff can connect to the networks, but also that can be used for the attackers. A scenario of crazy toaster, a Trojan device, or a software with TCP/IP capabilities like router, media players, access point that join to the local network is possible, and it start to make like hacking inside the local LAN. If you look in the picture over here, we can see how I can present my stuff in my network places. And when the user goes and do a right click and properties on this icon, he can see like I can write whatever I want. Like I can put myself as a fake Intel access point. There is no really SSL certificate or any something that will verify my true ideas. So steps to create a crazy toaster. What you need to build your own toaster. Needed ingredients. So you need a toaster. Okay, you don't have to, but you need a toaster. You need a hardware. You can use any hardware or none. You need a software. I choose, because I'm very lazy, I choose a stack vendor sample from Intel. There are a couple of them, but I was very lazy. I took the Intel one. It's cross-platform, it's very cool, and you just need to take it, compile it, and run your stuff. Also, you need network access to victim network. It can be a warm victim. We will use multicast to broadcast our present inside the network, and we will use some social engineering and physical access. So I can be part of the network, or I can just take my toaster and put it near the window of the guy, not even inside the home, and just use the wireless network. The Intel SSDP and UPnP stuff, SDK, is very cool. They have 3 layers. There is the client or service application. This is the application that I wrote. In this case, I just put some of browser exploits over there, and I put it inside a web server, and I did forwarding to a third-party website and run my code from there. We have the SDK layer from Intel that give us the web server, the HTTP, SSDP support, Gene, SOAP, and XML parsers over there, so they give us everything we need. to run our stuff, but we also need some kind of TCP stack given by the operating system. Some problems of this cool project. So we had the heat problem. Okay, if someone is turn off the toaster, the computer or the hardware inside can melt. I wasn't able to solve this problem, the heat problem. We had some Linux to Nokia IPSO porting issues. So I wanted to bring like a cool software or cool hardware to plug into the toaster, and I had to rewrite everything, like the TCP IP stuff, like socket stuff, to run on the cool Nokia IPSO. We use in Checkpoint, we use the Nokia IPSO to run our firewall over there. So they didn't like the idea that I would like to present a Trojan on the same hardware, but it was a cool one. And last one, we had the shipping problem. How can I bring my toaster with all those stuff here? How can I go via custom? I didn't want to go to Guantanamo Bay instead of come to Las Vegas. So we had to FedEx everything. Okay, our crazy toaster will advertising present on victim local network. We will use the discovery process that we will use HTTPU. It's HTTP over UDP. We will do UDP multicast to all of the networks, so I don't really need to know about my victim's network. The multicast is to this strange address, because I'm very nervous, I can't really pronounce all the numbers over there, but it's go to this port that is already listening in XP and on Vista. We'll send a couple of packets, multiple multicast packets over UDP. We'll do some social engineering. We declare ourselves as some standard computing equipment or kitchen appliance, and we can choose whatever we like to do. And then we will wait for the victim, for the LAN user to come and click our icon under the network neighborhood place. The presentation web server, I had lots of thinking. What should I present? Should I try to steal his Gmail contacts? Should I read his local, I'm talking about the victim. Should I read his inbox? Should I write a Trojan? Should I do like, I don't know, read stuff, kill stuff? And I decided to go and use some known techniques and experts from the wild. It's the MPAC toolkit. It was like 1 month before on the news. The tool was written by Russian people, PHP scripts, very easy one. It's like a toolkit to allow people to install their own Trojan using a patch vulnerabilities. I come from Israel. Okay, we are single CD country. We have one XP installation in all Israel, so not all of us get patches. And the toaster, the MPAC, the toaster will use just for pipe to bring traffic from third-party website. We'll retrieve the attack payload from the remote host, and then we'll run it from the local LAN. Okay, you can see some stuff that was needed to this crazy toaster. So I bought like a $15 toaster oven. I took the Nokia hardware on the left, but I didn't use it after all the porting stuff. I took like a regular Pentium 3 PC and I plug it over here. Also, you need bread. In this demonstration, I will run the crazy toaster. We'll do the discovery process. We'll do the presentation. We'll do the social engineering, and I will show you the browser exploits. If we will have time, and I think that we will have time because I'm running, if we will have time, I will open the source code of the JavaScript attack This is a multi-platform attack that use known techniques. When someone come to the website, the site gave him, send him to the right page to run his code over there. We'll not use the IPSO hardware, and we will use I use the Windows SDK to run everything. I do it on a live network, so I hope it will run. Okay, when I plug my toaster to the network, I can see here the local toaster. And when I first time plug my toaster to the network, I see some kind of notification over here. Because I tested like 2,000 times before, we will not see this notification, but it's in the first time that you are there, it's pumping over there. So we'll ask our user to click on it. It's inside the LAN. And now we will forward the traffic to outside, to my web server. This is the MPAC. So now the MPAC is running. I put some alerts inside to show the process over there. But we will try to download a Trojan, the same Trojan that I use in the toaster, and try to distribute it inside the network. So now, after I had some kind of browser identification, so this web server sent me to the right location. This is an unpatched machine, so all the exploits works over there. What we'll now try to do, the bug that was really made all the mess of the MPAC was the bug that was found by Finjan. It was very logical bug. I heard lots of talks in Defcon and in Black Hat about heap spraying. Heap spraying became a huge problem. But this bug was some kind of logical bug. So in this point, my Trojan was downloaded and was run. If that exploit were failed, the toolkit try lots of other exploits and try to run until he hit the box. Okay, so after I ran my toaster and I infected the network, I got like spread the toaster from other places as well. So if you have one box that is unpatched in your system, it's enough for us, because we will download our payload, our Trojan, and run it. I would like to show you a little bit more about the MPAC. The MPAC was sold for a little bit less than 1K, and they promised to give like some updates to people that buy it. It's PHP based, so you have statistics of how many exploits and how many traffics, what was the exploit that was used, and which OS they are running at. So it's help you like inject stuff with malicious website. The MPAC was quite a big hit, not because the MPAC was a big hit, not because the bugs that was used over there, but because they had compromised lots of shared hosting facilities with some stupid cPanel local exploit. So If they had like a 0 day, they infected more than 10K of hosting, shared hosting sites. So if they had like a 0 day, they can took over the internet. So a side effect of this research was some way that the SSDP protocol, the simple search discovery protocol, we made like a distributed denial of service. It was a little bit strange because we were able to kill all the PCs on the local LAN, which wasn't a remote code execution, but we sent like a malformed or well-formatted XML document. So it wasn't, we had some kind of recursion over there that send all the computers in the LAN to go to 100% CPU. So we're talking about recursive logic bomb. We had some memory consumption. Virtual memory page went crazy. So it took the computers a couple of hours to go out from this 100 CPU effect. Sorry, I had some short flashback. Too much LSD in the 90s. So, okay, you have a very cool distributed damage and possible attack vectors for that. But a remote attacker must be inside the local LAN segment to do it. It can do it by a Trojan, it can do it by worm or by other stuff. MS promised to fix it on Service Pack 3 for XP. So I will not show you the exploit, but I will show you all the other stuff. You can make the XML very easily. You don't need to me to show you how to do it. It's like a known bad XML that you use for Explorer as well. But we'll do a notify. Notify, it's like get and post, but just for SSDP. So we'll advertise our present. We'll send it to the specific multicast address. So we don't need to know about how the LAN is looked at. We will give a URL, so we'll have to have a web server that will give it back, the XML, the malicious XML. And we'll give respect to EI for doing lots of research in this field. So if we talked about 4 steps of the discovery process, we are going to kill the system on the 3rd one. Advertising is the same. The second stage is the control point ask for a device description, and the device bring like a very crazy or very recursive XML file with description that make everything go nuts. Okay, so we will try to make a small demonstration about how we make the smart home become a crazy home. And I will try to show you the logic bomb discovery. Okay, it's on its way. This is the exploit. It's Perl based. This is the notify packet we are planning to send. This is port number. and this is the broadcast. Okay, now you can see the other victim is 100% CPU. It was very fun to do it in checkpoint production LAN because we have like 200 PCs, and I was able to kill or don't allow them to work anymore, so I asked their forgiveness after that. I do it like 2,000 or 4,000 times, but this is the reason they asked to kick me out of the network after. Okay, some extended idea that can be do in those fields. When I started to look into home devices, I had like lots of ideas, and I talked with people, and they described and gave us lots of ideas. So you can do ARP spoofing, ARP poisoning. So the toaster can read all the traffic inside the local network. You can use kernel bugs, like wireless drivers bugs, to run your code if the network have a very bad drivers installed. There is lots to do in wireless hacking, web cracking. I play a little bit with MIPS and Linux embedded systems. It's become very, very cheap. You know, in Israel, when you buy a 6-pack of Coke, you get like a free DVD. So I think that in the future we'll see lots of embedded systems, very cheap one, and it can be a problem. Cell phone hacking, like Nokia phones, GPS. Attacker can use the GPS things over there and know stuff about privacy and location. And IP phone. I guess they will see lots of IP phones exploits very, very soon, because I see that lots of you have IP phones. iPhone, not IP phone. iPhone, like Apple stuff. It will be very easy to exploit them. Media centers can be a very good target. Game console. So we can use the game console to send our stuff and try to get more victims. I had some thinking about DivX Swarm, to make like a movie that when you steal movies, like all of us is doing via peer-to-peer, you will get some kind of copyright bomb that will whip all your movies or something like this. And we can also think about physical security, maybe put a microphone inside and a webcam or something, and just broadcast from the toaster outside to the world. Also, IPv6 will give us all the refrigerators and all the home equipment will be IPv6, so I guess there are lots of work to do over there. Conclusion. I am running. Conclusion. Cheap hardware appliance open door for the bad guys. I told you before about when you buy the Coke, you get a free DVD in Israel, but I think that it will come very, very common to do like embedded software, embedded hardware, and give it for free and stuff. Wireless hardware at IPv6 open new ball game, like reintroduce stuff that already fixed years before. I think that you trust no one. Hardware and software vendors and free gifts, so even if you have a very cool device, you don't really need to trust him. Home devices can be target for remote attackers as well, and not just from places inside the LAN. That can be buffer overflows, that can be cross-site request failure or XSS, like we've seen in the Jeremiah talk a couple of times. The SSDP service and the UPnP on XP must be disabled. This is my conclusion. And in Vista, you need to disable the network discovery protocol. So, can home device turn against us? I think they can. Home devices are as bad as the software authors. So, if you are a badass and you write hardware and software, you will make a badass home devices. I would like to give some respect to the people and the places that I stole some information from them and learn about them. So the UPnP forum, it's a very cool site that have like lots of descriptions and links for everything that is connected to UPnP. I would like to give some respect to the hackthetoaster.com. The guys did like the opposite side. They took PC and put inside a toaster or screen, so they went for the other side, but they are very cool. In the beginning, when I started this toaster work, I thought I'm so cool and I'm the first one is doing this, but I've seen that it is very old idea of mad toaster or toaster that do stuff, so I wanted to give some respect to the people that did this. I would like to give another respect for EI guys, for the SSDP and the UPnP stuff and for the other stuff that they did on the security research arena. I would like to give you a link of a project Cowbird that I heard about it in last Black Hat, made by a friend of mine, Jonathan, a new friend that I met a couple of days before. He talked about how to make, how to take a very cheap hardware like a Linksys Media Center and 30 minutes and 30 networks. So he replaced the OS inside and gives like make it a wireless scanner. So it was very cool idea. There is the exploiting embedded systems made by Barnaby Jack or whatever. He's a cool guy. So he showed how to make a shellcode on an ARM, shellcode on ARM process, not Intel based. I want to have links to the UPnP stack vendors like Intel, Cyberlink, and Siemens. There is the OSGI Alliance. They are making the software for the future smart home, so it's very cool stuff. And on Defcon 9, some dude called Dog showed a very cool way to do a talking toaster. So you need to go and look his work he did over there. Another website, it's UPnP Hacks. That was a very nice one. Okay, so the slides and the toaster source code are in my website. You can go over there and download stuff. You can contact me, send me an emails, questions, everything. If you would like to play together, cool stuff, I'm ready. Any questions? Excuse me? Maybe next year. We are open for new ideas. Thank you for your time.